I was always that kind of girl who like I would have popular friends, but they would only hang out with me one-on-one. So there were like those girls who like they would all hang out, they would do really cool things, but like a couple of them would do like one-on-one play dates with me because like here's the real truth is like I am so fun to be around because I love to do like weird activities and like I have lots of ideas. Like hey, hanging out with me is really fun. And if you've ever hung out with me, you know.
Hanging out with me is really fun. Midnight
Milkshake.
I will say the thing about the dog is the dog manages to position its body in a way that is like least convenient. It's like there's so much real estate for the dog to spread out on, and it's choosing here. And I'm aware that I'm saying it, okay? I don't say it out of cruelty. It's just the word that came to mind. Spider, move. Enough.
I guess we could start off with you went to get a skin cancer screening.
Oh, yes. I went to get a skin cancer screening the other day. And first of all, the very first time I went to this like dermatologist, the receptionist was like, I bet your girlfriend dragged you in here, huh? And it's one of those things where it's just like, I had to be like, well, no, obviously I'm not like some like dumb, idiot, immature baby who needs his girlfriend or his mommy to make him go to the doctor. I was actually there because I saw a straight up terrifying TikTok.
He's one of those mature adults who got fear-mongered by a TikTok.
Yeah.
Duh. But I was saying that I think that dermatologists have risen in estimation of esteem in the public's eye since like 10 years ago when they invented skin cancer. And I know what you're thinking. They didn't invent skin cancer. But like I would argue like dermatologists used to be on the same level as like freaking dentists. Like we all like rolled our eyes. Oh, you're a doctor. And then they're like, yeah, I'm a dermatologist. And you in your head, you were like, that's a fake doctor. Like when someone says, call me doctor, and then you find out they're a dentist. I'm like, I literally think dermatologists have the same reputation until skin cancer entered the zeitgeist.
I will say all the dermatologist did was like paw at me. Paw at me like I was like a prostitute and like, you know, the dark ages of England.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, show us your teeth. And I'm like, what? What does that do? And then like, yeah. She just pawed at me for a little and said, you're good.
But like, I think it's so funny. Again, I say this as someone who like, I've utilized dermatologists and dermatologists have saved my life. Obviously, as a shallow woman who likes to be pretty, an acne breakout has plagued me from time to time, and dermatologists have really stepped in and helped me clear my skin. And I'm grateful to dermatologists, but I am like, when you get the word cancer involved, it's like you automatically become more important.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, I bet dermatologist is probably like the newest type of doctor to kind of rise to the forefront, because I think of like, they had like dentists in the Old West and stuff. But I got to be honest, people were for sure getting skin cancer and they would just die of skin cancer.
Right, and they had no idea what happened.
Dermatologists have risen along with the concept of not dying of skin cancer.
Well, the reality is people used to just like pass away way more often.
Yeah.
And we had no idea. And also there were no signs that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And
they just have a crazy weird splotch in the center of their face after spending all their time in the sun, and they always kind of shrug their shoulders and go, if it's my time, it's my time.
Yeah. And then people were like, what happened to Sonny? And then someone else would be like, Sonny splotch face? I don't know. I think he died. Yeah, I wonder if it had anything to do with that splotch on his face.
It used to be you wouldn't go to the dermatologist. People would just nickname you Sunny Splotch Face until you died at 28.
Until you freaking died at 28.
And was that a better time? No, but it was a time.
Well, it was a better time for some people.
Well, I will also say this. You're kind of like acting very laissez-faire now that the dermatologists have cleared your acne.
That's true.
But when you had acne all over your face and you had to go to school and see your various crushes, I bet the dermatologist felt pretty important to you then.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And also like dermatologists. Okay, so I, for most of my life, have had Kaiser healthcare. I don't know if this is interesting to people.
Yeah, give the people your healthcare information.
Okay, but I've been a Kaiser girl like my whole life. Like
What's
my
your
family's
member
just
ID?
Kaiser people. I have a new member ID now because my health insurance lapsed and I had to get new coverage. And I still went back to Kaiser like a little fucking piggy because that's all I know. But what the funniest thing about Kaiser is like it's really easy to see a general doctor, but it's really hard to see a specialist in Kaiser. So it's like I would have to like wait. Oh my God. Okay, you guys, wait. Okay, this is crazy. So when I was in 11th grade, and keep in mind in 11th grade, I had a whole myriad of issues that I was going through. I was going to junior college instead of high school because I just like couldn't face my high school. I was on medication, but getting off slowly. I almost K'd myself, but didn't. So I was like I had a whole spiritual awakening. I was going through a lot. And while this was happening, I also developed this massive wart on my toe. So fucking big, dude. So fucking big that I like can't wear normal shoes. I like can't wear fucking normal shoes. And I know you're thinking like just go get it frozen off. So like it's so big. By the time that I like decide I'm gonna do something about this, it's so big I can barely fucking walk. And Kaiser Dermatology only does wart freezings on Wednesdays. So the only day of the week that you can get your wart frozen is Wednesday. I have a junior college class that I think like I had a class during the window where they usually froze warts. So I kept missing my window to get my wart frozen. My wart keeps growing and growing. I think it's like 7 weeks before I can like get, because I think that's when my class ended, and I could finally go on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. to the wart freezing clinic or whatever. And I finally get this wart slowly frozen off. But like for the longest time, I'd wear like big shoes. I think I had to buy shoes. I'm a 6.5, 7. I was like buying shoes in an 8 because my wart was so big.
I love the idea of Kaiser having a specific wart freezing doctor who only works on Wednesdays.
Yeah. Anyway, so Kaiser and the wart freezing window, you really fricked me with that. And that's dermatology.
Well, but again, it seems like you've needed dermatology.
I have.
You had a wart on your toe.
Desperately.
You had acne.
Yeah. If anything, I needed the dermatologist more urgently than they would even allow.
Yeah.
So
again, that's why I don't really buy this new dermatology is fake routine from you.
But isn't it great that I couldn't walk and my wart was so big that I had to wear different shoes?
Here's what else I will say. When I went to the dermatologist, obviously they told me to strip, but they said you can leave your underwear on. And then I put on one of those hospital smocks that's open at the back. And so she's like doing the check. And then I will say it's open at the back. But then as she's doing the check, she like pulls my underwear back and peeks. Which again, you have to do.
Oh my God.
But at that point, it's like, don't give me the false hope of leaving my underwear on if you're just the first thing the doctor's gonna do is like.
I can't explain it, but I feel like that's cheating.
I cheated
Fellas,
on you.
is it cheating if the dermatologist pokes around your undies?
Yeah.
Also, I was in the car while all this was happening.
I made her
Robert was
wait in the car
inside,
because I didn't want her to see what I was about to get up to.
and I said, let me know if you need your handheld if you get scared. And he had a skin tag frozen off.
I did, which
Am I
is
allowed to
pretty
say
crazy.
that?
Well, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be allowed to say that. It's gone now. It's frozen off.
Yeah.
By the way, it's like you think there's like, okay, when you go to the doctor, there's all sorts of like medical instruments and everything obviously feels very medicinal and official. But when they like freeze off a wart or a skin tag, she just like walked in with like a little tube and a hose.
Yeah, no, they literally, it's the, I don't know. Yeah, it's like the frozen.
I don't know what it's called, but
Yeah.
she just like kicks down the door with a canister in hand and just shoots me with a Mr. Freeze gun.
That's what the wart clinic was.
Yeah.
The Wednesday wart clinic.
Yeah, that was only that you had to miss a lot because you had class.
I had class.
But you also had a big ass wart on your toe.
Yeah, I also think it was like one of those classes that had a really stringent attendance policy. It might have been my like junior college theater class.
Well, that class was probably always losing people to the wart clinic, and they said enough's enough. I'm putting our foot down, and yeah, our foot has warts on it.
Yeah, dude, that wart was so big. I've had so many like growths in my life. Maybe that's because I've endured a lot of growth.
So you've so many
I
physical
haven't grown
growths.
tall ever.
Yeah.
I never grew tall, but I did grow lots of like lumps and masses.
Yeah, your body's like, we're not going to grow vertically, but we're going to grow tiny horizontally everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Little
you had a
mounds.
cyst, a pillonoidal cyst.
I had a pillonoidal cyst. I had a wart.
You had acne.
I had acne.
You have that little twin that grew out of your spine that I'm not supposed to tell people about.
We're cutting that. Anyway, I have that in my thing that dermatologists like decided that they needed to be more important, so they invented skin cancer.
And again, I'm not also like my dermatologist is nice. Do you want to know how I know? Because I'm in, I'm out. It takes like 10 minutes, nothing. You know, I mean, it does cost $50, but you know, what are you gonna do? That's healthcare.
I mean, that's the copay.
That's the copay.
The copay.
Yeah, and really I'm paying because like when I see a TikTok that's scary, I'm like, oh, that's gonna cost me a $50 copay. But you know, that is actually the real advantage of having health insurance is I can scroll TikTok freely.
Right,
because
and you're
if
not
I
totally
am afraid,
scared.
it's like cool, I can go to the dentist and go to the dermatologist. So it's not really that big a deal. But anyway, the last time I went to this dermatologist was a couple years ago, and it was part of like a hospital. It was a hospital.
Yes.
And it was like in the hospital. It was on like the 3rd floor. Same dermatologist though. I've checked in a couple years later. They've now moved to their own building that's like in the parking lot of a gas station.
Yeah. They've kind of like low-key downgraded in terms of
Location.
Their location. Yeah. Well, their location also used to be much more official seeming in that it was in a hospital.
Yeah.
And to be in the parking lot of a gas station, again, it's giving dentist. No, and again, no, I don't. I love dentists. I appreciate dentists. I obviously look at these chompers. They've seen the dentist. I don't know what I'm saying.
Was that the end of your thought?
Yeah.
Well, here's what I do remember, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, but I do remember when my parents' health insurance changed, and I went from going to a dentist that was like, in a really nice area part of the city to going to a dentist that was inside a Walmart. My dentist was literally like when you walk into a Walmart and you look to your right and there's like returns and then like generally like a branch of a bank. There was my dentist was in there. So my waiting room had a window and I would just like look at people checking out in Walmart. And then I would go into the dentist.
I always thought it was crazy that you could get like optometry done and stuff like that at Costco and Walmart.
Well, it's one of those things where I remember people were always mad at like big corporations like Walmart and Amazon for like absorbing like, mom and pop hardware stores and like mom and pop bookshops. But it is crazy. But like, oh no, they're also absorbing like banks and doctors. They're going to have everything soon.
Well, that's Amazon's plan.
Yeah.
Also, Amazon does like pharmacy stuff now.
Yeah.
And doctor. You can do like telehealth via Amazon.
Which is insane.
You can do, again, Jeff Bezos wants to be a one-stop shop.
And what sucks about it, and probably the worst thing about Amazon, is that it is great and convenient.
Well, yeah, the worst thing is that it's so convenient. And again, convenience will kill us. Love of convenience will kill humanity.
Yeah.
Obviously. And what are you going to do about it?
I mean, I do love convenience.
Yeah. Okay, the next thing in my topics was sleepovers and middle school birthday parties. Would you like to start us off?
Well, I'm going to start us off talking about sleepovers.
Yeah.
First of all, my sleepover experience was the problem with me and what really kept me from thriving in a sleepover environment and really a friend environment in general is that like I did not like horror movies and that I couldn't handle them.
Oh my God.
I couldn't handle them.
Same.
Not in like I get a little jumpy. I'm like, it would prevent me from sleeping. I had my friend's older sister described the plot to me of the remake of When a Stranger Calls. They did like a remake. She described the plot to me, which is just like the call is coming from inside the house. There's a guy in the same house as you. I slept with the lights on for like 2 weeks, and then I also slept with a butter knife and an airsoft gun underneath my pillow.
Yeah.
Legitimately, I did that.
No, I believe you. I mean, I'm the same way. I mean, famously, I didn't go to the bathroom for like a week. I didn't go to the bathroom alone for months. Like I would make my sister sit in the bathroom while I showered and stuff after I read Chamber of Secrets, the Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if there was a
giant basilisk
and a dungeon in my toilet. Obviously. Yeah, no, same. But then also I remember at a middle school sleepover, we watched The Orphan, which is famously like a bad horror movie. And it freaked me out so bad.
Is it because you kind of aesthetically look like The Orphan a little?
Well, yeah, there's always a part of me that's like, what if I'm
an old woman?
An old woman. Yeah, what if I'm an old woman? And I just had no recollection. What if I was adopted into my family and like I thought I was 5, but really I was already 30 then?
Well, we've talked about this, but would you rather find out that you're actually a year younger than you think you are, or that you're actually a year older than you think you are?
Well, I'd rather find out that I'm a year younger, because obviously if I'm a year older, then like what was going on with me developmentally, and also what happened in that year.
So you're thinking about it as like I must have blocked out a year.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm thinking about like in your early years, there comes a point where it's like you're not aware of being 1, you're not aware of being 2. It's kind of like when you're 7, your parents say, "Hey, by the way, you're 7." Do you know what I mean? So like,
but like
any
that's
of those
scary
early
to me.
years
Okay.
could be added or subtracted
but here's
at
my
will.
thing. If at age 5, my parents told me, actually you're 6, I'm like, what the fuck happened?
But no, you're not, because at age 5, your life is a blur. You don't know how long a year is. It doesn't matter. I have
like really conscious memories beginning at age 2.
I don't believe you.
I do.
What was one of your memories that you were conscious of at age 2?
Well, I famously always say this, and you can read into it however you want. My first conscious memory is at an Easter egg hunt at my apartment complex if it was my apartment complex, it was before my brother was born, because that's when we moved to the first house we lived in Palo Alto. Apartment complex, Easter egg hunt. So I think it would be Easter of 1997. It would have been April 1997 is my first conscious memory. And the fact that it's on Easter makes me think I'm Jesus. You know what I mean? Because it's like my first conscious memory is on Easter. Are you kidding? Obviously, I'm Jesus.
That doesn't make sense, because Jesus had memories that were pre-Easter. It's not like...
No, but I'm just saying, like, didn't he wake on Easter?
Well, he rose from the dead on Easter.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Jesus rose in me on Easter. You know what I mean?
So because your first memory is Easter.
Yeah. Don't you think it's weird that my first memory is Easter?
I mean, not really, because that would make sense developmentally. Like your first memory would be like a holiday or a celebration or something. Were you doing anything crazy?
Well, it was an Easter egg hunt at my family's apartment complex. My parents' apartment complex in Santa
God
Clara,
heard you
California.
trying to claim Jesus, and he was like,
Well,
I'm
no,
gonna fuck you up
I
a
don't
little.
actually think it means I'm Jesus, but I'm like, I do think it's like somehow symbolic that my first conscious memory is of an Easter egg hunt. Don't you?
My first conscious memory is July 4th, but wait a minute. Do you think that means I'm George Washington?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
my first conscious memory is Thanksgiving. Do you think that means I'm a chief of the Iroquois Confederacy?
Maybe.
I think it's the Iroquois Federation or Confederacy. I think it's like the Iroquois. It was like a network of Native American tribes, and I think it's talked about as like the earliest form of some form of government.
Oh.
So even if I'm wrong there, I want to be clear that I'm wrong in the direction of kind of vaguely knowing some Native American history.
Good for you. I don't know anything about that.
About Native American history?
No. All I know is that my first memory was on Easter, which I think is interesting.
What was your memory? Like, is it just like you're looking for eggs?
So it's like I'm at an Easter egg hunt, and I remember there are these two girls who are a little bit older than me, and I'm looking at them and thinking they're really cool, and they found a bunch of eggs, and I don't think I found like any eggs. I also remember being like, where are my parents? Anyway, that's it. That's the length of the memory.
Yeah. I remember when Jesus, he rose from the dead on Easter Sunday, and he was like, wait, where are my parents? Wait a minute. What are you guys looking for? I haven't found anything yet. What? That was probably what he'd be like.
That's maybe what he'd be like.
One of my earliest memories is, here's the thing. I was taken to church so much as a kid, and church is a little intense for a kid because one of my earliest memories was after the mass had concluded, and this was like in a really big fancy cathedral. Everyone gets up at the same time, and I somehow got separated from my parents, and so I was kind of like in just like this rush and mob of bodies going toward the exit, and then a old woman grabs me through like the crowd and gets like this close to my face, and she goes, hey, listen, Sonny, you better keep coming to church because we need more priests and bishops.
Whoa.
And then she walked away.
That's a lot to put on a young kid, that they like have to be a priest or a bishop or Catholicism will fall apart.
Well, also she looked at me. She clearly saw that I was lost and looking for my parents.
Yeah.
And instead of like, trying to help me find my parents, she was like, I'm going to set you on a better path.
I'm going to make you feel like you need to be a priest / bishop.
Also, I thought this was clear in my performance, but just to be extra clear, it's like, it wasn't like nice.
No.
It wasn't like, hey, keep coming to church, okay? We need more priests and bishops.
Yeah.
I was like, listen,
we need
Sonny.
more priests and bishops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, my mom told me that when she got confirmed, and first she told me she got confirmed at 8 years old, which you're not supposed to do. It's supposed to be like 8th grade. She told me that the priest who confirmed her slapped her across the face and asked her if she wanted to be a soldier for Christ.
Which I mean,
I don't think that's how that's done.
The idea of that is hilarious, though. A priest slapping a bunch of kids and being like, "Are you ready to be a soldier for Christ?" Like, I'm like, that is a hilarious visual.
I mean, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious as a pure concept as we talk about. But obviously, if I'm in the room as an 8-year-old and a priest slaps me in the face, it would probably not be funny.
I mean, again, there's a reason that one of the most common words that follows the word religious is trauma.
Yeah.
Religious trauma. And I don't have any religious trauma because I wasn't raised religious at all. And Christ saved me later in life, but so I don't have any like hang-ups about it.
Well, of course not, because you are Christ, because that was your memory.
I don't mean it's like I'm literally Jesus. I'm just like, don't you think it's interesting that my first memory is on Easter? Doesn't that have any sort of like
now
symbolism?
You're trying to laugh it off now to be like, obviously I don't mean that I think I'm literally Jesus. Roll the tape. The first thing you said was, and so that makes me think that I'm Jesus.
Well, I'm like saying like, well, I mean, Christ is in all of us. He's like in us. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that?
No, keep going. You're right.
Okay, well, I don't want to like go as far as to say that I think I'm Jesus, because famously in the mental hospital, which I talked about in previous episodes, a lot of people in there thought that they were Jesus. And I know that like thinking that you're Jesus is like a surefire way to like get committed. And I don't want to be committed. So just to be clear, I don't think I'm Jesus. That's just so I don't get committed.
I'm pretty sure the 3 like famous figures that most crazy people are convinced they are, it's Jesus, Napoleon, and Anastasia.
That's so interesting. Also, what would be an interesting like phenomenon is if Jesus, Anastasia, and Napoleon literally always came back and were always incarnating into the bodies of crazy people.
I mean, I guess that would be.
Right?
I guess that would be kind of random and true. Also, like that would seem odd because it would make sense, I guess, for Jesus because Jesus is like obviously a spiritual God entity.
Right, yeah.
Napoleon and Anastasia, they're just like two.
They were just
folks.
like people, right?
They're just people.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
I guess they're just like characters that like are kind of like zeitgeisty. Like, why do you think that is?
Well, I think that both were at the height of their fame, kind of suddenly removed from the world, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because Anastasia, I mean, sadly, I think her family was overthrown and she was killed. I mean, maybe not sadly geopolitically. I don't know if it was maybe good that they were overthrown.
In the Fox animated movie,
she does live.
she does live,
And she grows up to be hot.
really hot.
What a tragedy.
And she has the voice of Meg Ryan, an angel. She has the voice of an angel, Meg
Yeah,
Ryan.
she's a hot cartoon with the voice of an angel.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why people want to be Anastasia.
Yeah, maybe that's why that makes sense. That being said, I just realized new fame status symbol that I personally will be reaching for is Dana Donnelly. I'm saying it right now. I want to be so famous that when I die, crazy people think that they're me.
People are going to be committed in crop tops at record rates.
Yeah. And that's my kind of goal. That's the impact and footprint I hope to leave upon this world.
Someone's dragged into a mental institution and they're claiming to be Jesus, and they have to decide if they should go with the people who think they're Jesus or people who think they're Dana Donnelly who think she's Jesus. That's what they've got to determine.
And that's how I'll know I've made it. And I'll be looking down from heaven going, I did it.
You're looking down from heaven at a mental hospital full of girls
Jesus is
having
next
episodes.
to me. Jesus like hates me. In heaven, me and Jesus are like hanging out, but Jesus doesn't like me. Does that work with any lore? Like that me and Jesus would be in heaven hanging out and also he wouldn't like me?
It's interesting because like I guess I don't know if it works with any lore.
Yeah.
That's a funny image.
Yeah.
Where Jesus like, oh my God, I have to let her in because she hasn't sinned grievously, but also, oh, this lady's so annoying.
Yeah, like wouldn't it be funny if I'm forgiven and like in heaven, but also everyone there thinks I'm annoying?
I mean, I think that's, I'm not trying to be rude. I think that's what you're heading toward.
And I could be so lucky.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Okay, so I wanted to talk about sleepovers.
I was
sorry.
actually gonna bring it back to sleepover myself.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh,
beep, 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 beep. Let's put the microphones down and just beep, 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 beep. Someone in a very nice comment said that we're great conversationalists. And I love that. I love that comment, but I do like getting that comment and then immediately just reverting to beep, 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 beep. Anywho, but back to sleepovers. As I said, like I was really afraid of horror movies, like genuinely, like I couldn't watch them, and I knew I was so afraid of them that it wouldn't even be worth it to sit through, even if it meant I would be lame and unpopular in the eyes of my peers.
Yeah.
So I still remember at like sleepovers when like the other guys there would like want to like watch a scary movie, I would get up and almost like too calmly be like, well, gentlemen, this movie's not for me. I will be in the bathroom. Please get me when the movie's done. And I legitimately have memories of like reading a book in the bathroom of like my friend's house while all the other guys in my class were watching a scary movie.
I know that you hate when I do this because you're like, I just said that. I also have memories of reading books in the bathroom while everyone else hung out. I similarly have those memories.
Okay, well, I have a memory of being on an Easter egg hunt in my parents' apartment complex.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to fucking say that.
Well, yeah, but anyhow, that literally is what my main sleepover memory was. Have we talked about this before, how I would fake being sick? I also, before that, so pre-horror movies, I also just like, for some reason, I was really scared of being away from home. Like, I didn't like the idea of sleeping in someone else's house. So what I would do is every single time I got invited to a sleepover, I would, of course, accept because I wanted friends.
Of course.
And then I would be totally normal and have a great time. And then I would be like, all right, we'd be put to bed and we're going to sleep. And I would then get up out of bed, walk to the parents of my friend's bedroom door, knock and say, hello, I've just vomited. You need to call my parents to come get me.
You would literally be like, hello, I just vomited.
I have a memory of doing it.
Being like, hello, I just vomited.
I did to my friend Peyton. I did to my friend Andrew.
That's just so funny.
I pulled the exact same routine. And I thought I was getting away with it because they always did call my parents and my parents always did come pick me up.
Yeah.
Clearly everyone involved knew I was faking it because like these parents talk to each other.
Also, there's like, where's the vomit?
Yeah. Well, I think I maybe claimed that I flushed it down the toilet or something.
Okay, yeah.
But then like I'm sure like Peyton's mom and Andrew's mom were like, hey, yeah, we had Robert Schultz over for a sleepover. He said he puked, but it didn't really seem like he did. And then the other parent was like, yeah, same routine.
Also, all the kids definitely were like, Robert pretended to be sick to leave.
Yeah.
Because he's a pussy. Well, I similarly didn't. First of all, I wasn't invited to very many sleepover birthday parties, if you can believe it.
I can believe it.
I always wanted to be, rarely was. But one time, so I was always that kind of girl who like, I would have popular friends, but they would only hang out with me one-on-one. So there were like those girls who like they would all hang out, they would do really cool things, but like a couple of them would do like one-on-one play dates with me because like here's the real truth is like I am so fun to be around because I love to do like weird activities and like I have lots of ideas. Like hey, hanging out with me is really fun. And if you've ever hung out with me, you know.
Hanging out with me is really fun.
But in groups, I tend to get isolated and ostracized and it's just very hard for me in groups. I don't do that good in groups. Whatever. Anyway, so there was one popular girl that I was really good friends with one-on-one, and she had a sleepover birthday party. And so I got to go to my first popular girl sleepover birthday party. So all her popular friends were there. And I go into the sleepover birthday party, and because I spend a lot of time alone, I spend time reading. I've read every book there is where girls have a sleepover. And I've read every magazine there is about like fun things to do with sleepovers. And so I come in with like a bunch of like pranks, ideas, you know what I mean? Like I come in with the haha, like, you know what, sleepovers, like girls freeze each other's bras. We're in like third grade. Only like a couple of us even have bras. You know, like at sleepovers, a really fun prank is you stick the first person who falls asleep, you stick their hand in warm water and it makes them pee themselves. So I'm like coming in, I have like all these like funny little like, I'm like, haha, these are like pranks you can do at sleepovers. And when you know it, I fall asleep first. I wake up. My hand is in warm water. They were trying to pull my prank that I told them about on me. And I was so upset. And I was like, couldn't get over it. I was like, I told you guys about this. You can't do it to me. I told you guys about this. And I think they were probably like, we just thought it'd be funny. But I did not take it well.
Yeah, they're like, they're like, surely Dana will think this is funny and not talk about it on a podcast in 20 years.
Yeah, it's been. I think it was her 8th birthday. It's been 22 years.
It's been 22.
I'm still hung up on it.
Yeah, because
you know who you are. They've moved on.
Because you thought you would pull this on some other poor sucker.
Yeah,
but no.
No.
You know what? I almost think I was the opposite in high school and in general social groups. I think that one-on-one people found me kind of like awkward in conversation, but as a group, people liked me.
Yeah.
I think I was popular in a group setting, but not particularly popular one-on-one.
I mean, we've talked about this too, where it's like you're like a third friend. You're the third friend.
Well, we've talked about this, and in fact, I've had a viral TikTok about this recently, where it's like, no, I am very much a group of 3 friend, and that means that I am an absolute fantastic friend and a great conversationalist if there is a third person there to kind of break the tension and bounce off of.
Yes.
But one-on-one, I do not really thrive.
Well, one-on-one, you thrive with me.
But we thrive with each other.
That's true. And Biter's kind of like our third friend.
Yeah, Biter, what's your most awkward sleepover experience?
Well, okay, for me, the group of 3 thing, and I've talked about this obviously ad nauseum, but for me, it's like I'm really good at one-on-one, and then usually it's like I'll make a new friend. And we'll have a lot of fun together. And then the problem always comes when she decides to introduce me to one of her other friends. And then there's like this little group of 3. And then in the group of 3, I always get iced and dogged.
What do you mean
like,
you get
girls
iced
just like
and
to
dogged?
gang up on me. Not even just girls. People love to gang up on me. I've been in co-ed friend groups where people have ganged up on me. And I don't mean this in a victim way. Obviously, I've grown from it.
Of course you mean this in a victim way.
No, because
you said that every friend group you've been a part of has iced and dogged you and ostracized you and ganged up on you.
Well, obviously I'm the problem because I'm admitting like clearly it's me. Clearly I'm doing something wrong. I know that. I recognize that.
What do you think you're doing wrong?
I think I can just be a lot. Like I actually I think that's it. I think the thing is that like I'm a lot, and then they like look for reasons why they could like. Then they look for things to throw me out. Do you know what I mean? It's like how like when a job wants to fire you, it's like never actually because you're a low performer.
Yeah.
It's like because they already wanted to fire you, and then you're kind of more under scrutiny than other employees.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think that's what happens in
I
friend
do think at the
groups with
job
me.
that did fire me, and
Yeah.
again, correctly, I was not good at it.
Right.
It was right out of college. I was over my head. But I know for a fact, because I basically just worked in like one guy's department, and my department was like me and like two other girls. And I know for a fact that all of his bosses wanted me fired. They did not like me,
Yeah.
but they didn't have a reason to. Until
No.
ultimately they got a reason to.
Yeah.
And ultimately I CC'd the wrong person on an email and they were like fired.
But
I'm
that's
like,
what
sure.
I mean. I'm like, the whole thing is if they didn't want to fire you, UCCing a wrong person on an email wouldn't have been a fireable offense.
Can I settle this? So I remember at that job, because it's right after college.
Right.
And it's like a big like office where, you know, a lot of people there are Russian. Not a problem.
Mm-hmm. No,
Fantastic.
Robert gets along with Russian people just
I had a
fine.
Russian piano teacher. And here's the thing, I have to pick a story here, but my Russian piano teacher, she and I both knew that I didn't want to be doing piano, and she really didn't want to be teaching me piano. My sisters were very good at it and I wasn't. But we both had to go through the motions. So I actually think in a weird way, we had a camaraderie built around the fact that like
both didn't want you to be there.
we both didn't want me to be
Yeah.
there. So I actually respect that. But anyway, so I'm at this office. It's my first job out of college. I'm like literally on the verge of tears every day. It's so hard. I'm making Excel spreadsheets all day. I'm making them wrong. People are upset at me. But I found out this lady who works in a different department, this Russian lady, she was not secretly, but she was telling everybody I'm rude because when she passed me in the hall in the morning, I wouldn't say good morning to her. And again, I didn't say good morning, not because I'm rude, but because I'm so stressed out and scared of what's going to happen that day. But then also, just throwing this out there, she didn't say good morning to me.
Dude.
It's this deal where I'm like, look, man, if you had said good morning to me, A, I would have said good morning back. B, I would have genuinely appreciated it.
Yeah.
But it's this deal where it's like, you're mad at me for not being polite, but and you're like, and that's why I'm never polite to him.
Yeah.
He's not polite, but I'm like, you're not doing the thing you're mad at me for not doing.
I will say, when you are like, okay, this is something I think if I could assess why that's the kind of treatment that you get, it's Robert suffers from two things in my opinion. And that is that he has like a symmetrical face and good bone structure. And then he also has really big eyebrows. So I think when you're like traditionally, conventionally more attractive with then kind of an evil feature, you have to go out of your way to be super friendly or people assume the worst.
But then that's a tricky game as well.
No, I
because
agree.
then if I'm super friendly, it's like I'm trying to like Ted Bundy people like back to my murder shit. I'm like, hi, good morning.
Right, exactly.
Great to see you.
No, right. Like if you're too friendly, like it does rub wrong. But I think that's always the thing that people who are 7s and aboves, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like toot our own horns or whatever, but it's like if you're quiet and reserved, people take that to be like you're a bitch or a douche.
Well, I would say this was more of a problem for me, like right out of college, because you're in a new work environment.
Right.
You're in the adult world for the first time. You have no money. You're scared, all these things. So my strategy would be like, just keep to yourself, just be quiet, like sit by yourself and just kind of like, don't get in anyone's way, stay out of the way, keep to yourself, don't say anything. But what that registers to other people is they see me just sitting in the corner, stone-faced, like looking at people. It looks like I'm up to something.
Yeah.
And all I'm up to is like hoping no one's mean to me.
Or it looks like you're like, you think that you're better than other people and you're standoffish.
Yeah.
I mean, again, hot and reserved equals standoffish. But and I know this because I have been both really ugly and then like kind of attractive. So this is my life experience that I'm speaking from. But I am like, the best part about being like ugly, in my opinion, was that I could like be my fucking like rude, reserved self and no one really gave a fuck. Like no one was mad at me for being rude when I was ugly. And then the second that I like kind of glowed up, suddenly people like literally were so mad that I was rude. Like it pissed them off that I was rude. But I swear people genuinely thought it was so funny that I was like rude and like cantankerous when I was like a little bit ugly.
Well, when an ugly person is rude, people read it as sassy. And when a hot person is rude, people read it as evil bitch.
Evil bitch.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I definitely think that's really, it's just like something I started to notice where I'm like, oh, I almost like, again, I don't miss being ugly. I love to be a little hotter. And not even that I'm not saying I'm a fucking model. Okay, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, no, the one thing that like low-key I miss about being ugly is like people like leave you alone and people aren't offended by you not wanting to hang out with them. That's also it. People are like really happy you don't want to hang out with them because they don't want to hang out with you either. But here's the thing too. It's like, I'm hot now. People don't actually want to hang out with me, but like they'll invite me to hang out and then they're like, wait, I don't like you. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, you're saying it's really hard being hot and having so many people want to hang out with you.